Good evening, and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals in Plymouth, Massachusetts, America's hometown. Tonight, we have a pretty busy docket, and to get some of the less troublesome things out of the way, we're going to start with case 4141, James Du Bois, and it's 163A Herring Pond Road. What we are doing is we're going to vacate a permit that has already been entered and recorded at the Registry of Deeds. And in order, there has been some changes in the project and they need a new permit. And in order to do that, we have to vacate this because you cannot have two open permits at the same time for the same project, as I understand it. So what we're going to do right now is I am going to ask Mr. Leary, Mr. O'Reilly, Mr. Conroy, and myself to, I would first ask for a motion to vacate.
I'll make a motion to vacate case number 4141.
Do I have a,
And all conditions.
do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Let me just put this one, 41. I have a motion by Mr. Leary and a second by Mr. O'Reilly to vacate or terminate case number 4141. All those in favor? It is unanimous.
Mike,
And
you should do 4177.
please, Michael. Next, we are going to move on to 4177, which was a permit issued to do some construction, and when they started to do the construction, they found out that the building was beyond being able to save. So they have changed the direction that they're going, and we want to vacate this. This permit has not been recorded, but we want to vacate this one also. So I await a motion on case number 4177.
I motion that we approve case number 4177 for withdrawal without prejudice.
Right. Is there a second? Good.
Yeah.
Oh, before we do that, I ought to have the clerk read the legal ad into the record, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Case number 4177, the Plymouth Zoning Board of Appeals on the zoning bylaw will hold a public hearing in the Great Hall, Town Hall, 26 Court Street, Plymouth, Mass. On Monday, September 15th, 2025 at 6 p.m. to hear the petition of James and Kathleen Dubois requesting a special permit required per section 2039C to reconstruct and enlarge a pre-existing non-conforming structure in use on a lot with more than one principal residential building. Modification of special permit case 4141 on the property at 163A Herring Pond Road, shown as parcel 057-000-012-004 of the assessor's map dated January 1, 2024 in an R25 zone. The petitioner, his or her representative, or any other person interested in desiring to be heard on this request should appear at the time and place designated.
Thank you. Seated on this will be Mr. Leary, Mr. O'Reilly, Mr. Conroy, Mr. Connor, and myself. The board has been asked to vacate this permit also without prejudice. And I believe we already have had a motion
I'll second that.
and a second.
Second.
I think Ed did already.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Be that way.
Seniority doesn't get you anything. All those in favor? It is unanimous. Thank you. That's kind of out of the ordinary of how we go about things, but it's out of the way now. And now we can move on to case number 4178. And I will ask the clerk to read the ad, please.
Case number 4178, the Plymouth Zoning Board of Appeals on the zoning bylaw will hold a public hearing in the Great Hall, Town Hall, 26 Court Street, Plymouth, Mass. On Monday, September 15, 2025 at 6 p.m. to hear the petition of Richard Agura requesting a special permit required per section 2055 R20SL and dimensional table footnote 2 to waive minimum required setbacks in the R20SL district, and per footnote 3 to allow a single-family dwelling on a lot between 15,000 and 20,000 square feet in area and 75-foot minimum lot width for a lot with a pre-existing non-conforming single-family dwelling on the property at 9 Fuller Drive, shown as parcel 049-002-212-000Z, and additional lots of the assessor's map dated January 1, 2024, in an R20S zone. The petitioner or his or her representatives or any other person interested in desiring to be heard on this request should appear at the time and place designated.
Thank you, Mr. O'Reilly. Seated on this will be Mr. Leary, Mr. O'Reilly, Mr. Conroy, and Mr. Connor, and myself. Who will be presenting? Is the light on, the green light?
There we go. How's that? Richard Garrett, thank you for having me here tonight. I was working on this project. We started with Milan Management Systems in Manomet, and Randy Parker unfortunately passed away, so I'm kind of picking up the ball. This is new to me, but he got us to this point, and I'm fortunate we got this far with it. What we're trying to do is just simply a lot line adjustment on 14 Allen Drive by my wife and I. My brother Steve own that property, and on 9 Fuller, if I can, does this work? No. 9 Fuller, the property next to it used to be 4 6,000 square foot lots. At one point, a long time ago, was made into one lot. So what we're proposing to do is take what would have been lot 204 and add it to 14 Allen Drive, which at one time was lot 203. That drops that 24,000 square foot lot to 18,000, and we need a special permit for that. We have no intention to build, do anything. We're just trying to get a little buffer on our 14 Allen Drive property, because it's just a tight footprint now, and then that's really all it is. It's just between two, properties in the family. We're just trying to make a lot line adjustment now. We thought it was simple going with 205. Those lots were already drawn out, and I guess nothing's really simple. So that's what the intent is. Again, there's no intention for us. We have no change in intensity, density, or occupation. It's just really a lot line, and we have no time or desire or money to do really anything with it. Just that's really our goal.
Questions, Michael?
Yeah, when I look at this, I assume one is you're just trying to get, because I see it's in a trust. Now's the time to do it.
Right.
Well, it's owned by one owner. And you don't have any idea of changing anything anyways right away.
No plan. And this is something we're trying to do. Eventually these properties will wind up with our kids and try to straighten this. I mean, as you can see from the plan, our driveway on 14 Allen, Stephen on his 9 Fuller property carved that out. So, it's all in the family, so it didn't matter. But we want to clean all these things up before, we're not getting younger, so we figure we'll take care of these things now.
Okay. I just do have a question, though, for Jason. Jason, on this, I noticed like Randy has the plan showing the existing conditions and moving the lot line. When they put on that file, are they going to need a more finished plan, or is that one going to be all right?
Well, I would argue that if the board grants approval, that the engineer would have to draw 2 new parcels and 2 new deeds. and have those recorded, so I'd assume that those dimensions would be much more specific, yes. That would be, I would think, a condition of the board to return with a definitive plan.
Yeah, informal.
Yeah, something that could be recorded. But
Okay.
again, I defer to the board's discretion in that.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ed.
Are both lots are owned by the same parties?
So my brother Steve he's half owner of 14 Allen with me, and with my wife and I, and he's owner of 9 Fuller. So, yeah, this is all a family.
Because what happens is, if you need both, is there a mortgage on the property?
No mortgages.
All right. So as long as there's no mortgages, I'm okay with it.
It is in the same trust, though. You have a trust that they're both in.
Right, there are two separate trusts, but, we're redoing all trusts and everything, yeah.
Pete? Anything? No. Have you anything else you'd like to add at this point?
No, just, again, no intentions to do any construction.
What I'm going to do is open it up to public comment.
Sure.
Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this petition? Seeing none, I'm going to close public comment and bring it back for board discussion only. Gentlemen.
I'm fine with it.
No, pretty straightforward, same here.
And I'm fine with it. I think it's time, they should do it now while it's in the trust.
While it's legally a lot easier
Right.
to achieve.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to make a motion to approve case 4178 with, there's one condition in the staff report, but I'd also like to add one that they come back and informal to show us a plan that, because what you have from Randy isn't a finished plan that would be for the registry of deeds.
Would a plot plan work?
Yeah. If you ask your engineer, he'll know.
Right, I will work, we have a,
Go ahead, Jason.
I would, again, defer to legal, but this is a subdivision and should be prepared the same way that a subdivision. We have an engineer in the audience that could offer up the way that they create parcels, but these parcels effectively have to be created, so it
Right.
shouldn't just be a single plot plan, no.
Okay.
well, would it be 2 plot plans, no? I mean, they gave us new lot numbers, or I'm asking it, yeah, sure, please, help me out. I'll do whatever we have to do, that's all.
Good evening, board members. Chris Sanderson with Merrill Engineers. So it sounds like under this scenario, Mylar will have to be prepared, a plan of land showing the lot line adjustments, and that will get recorded at the registry of deeds, and then an attorney can make up a new deed. So it's that, film-like paper stamped by a professional land surveyor and recorded at the registry of deeds.
Okay, so
Yep.
that second condition will be, come back with it. We'll be happy.
It'll be an informal.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
A second?
I have a motion by Mike. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Peter? I have a motion to approve case number 4178 with 2 conditions. All those in favor? It is unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right. We are now going to go to case... Hmm? Yeah, do that. Okay. I kind of, after reading it, I decided that that would be the best way. Sorry, I meant to tell you, Denise. Don't get mad. She's the boss. I'm in the doghouse now. Again, I would ask the clerk to read the advertisement for case number 4181.
Case number 4181, the Plymouth Zoning Board of Appeals on the zoning bylaw will hold a public hearing in the Great Hall, Town Hall, 26 Court Street, Plymouth, Mass., on Monday, September 15th, 2025, at 6 p.m. to hear the petition of Maureen Paquette requesting a special permit required per Section 2039C to expand or alter a pre-existing non-conforming structure to demolish and reconstruct a single-family dwelling on the property of 40 Avenue B, shown as parcel 045A 000-070-008 of the assessor's map stated January 1, 2024, in an R20S zone. The petitioner or his or her representative or any other person interested in desiring to be heard on this request should appear at the time and place designated.
Thank you. Seated on this will be Mr. Leary, Mr. O'Reilly, Mr. Conroy, Mr. Connor, and myself, who will be representing Mr. Sims.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, myself, and with me tonight is Mr. Sanderson from Merrill Engineering, also presenting, and we also have a contractor here, the petitioner themselves, and questions should arise. We've got plenty of people here to answer any questions from the board.
Right. Go right ahead.
Okay, so just briefly, I'm recently involved in this particular matter, so I don't have the in-depth knowledge that Chris does, so he'll be handling the bulk of the presentation. I just want to introduce myself and just tell you just briefly what this petition involves, and then I'll turn it over to Chris. So this property is on, the petitioner is Ms. Paquette, who was the owner of the property. It's been in the family for approximately 80 years. The number of houses in this particular area, which is like off of Taylor Ave in that particular section of town. The petition is filed seeking approval of the zoning board for expansion and alteration of a pre-existing non-conforming use per 203-9 of the zoning bylaw. The plans that Chris will present to you show the structure remaining in the existing footprint of the existing property, but with the addition of just a second story on the structure. And already approved by BOH and Conservation is the septic system, replacing the existing cesspool on the property, and Chris can expand upon any discussions or issues that came up in those hearings. But from our standpoint, it's not really super complicated. The structure itself is going to remain just pushed back about 3 feet, I believe, Chris, from the... Sorry? 3.5 feet from the current location to comply with the conservation requirements and not to get into the buffer zone from there. But other than that, it's going to be just rebuilt within the same footprint, but just a second story added. And I think that's really about it. We have a number of letters of support from all the abutting neighbors, which I believe have been submitted to the board as part of your packet. And if questions arise for me, I'll be available, and I'll turn it over to Chris.
Thanks, Bill. Again, for the record, Chris Sanderson, Merrill Engineers and Land Surveyors. Good evening, board members. Thank you for having me. So the figure up here depicts the existing site conditions on the left and proposed conditions on the right, kind of good for comparative purposes. So I'll touch upon each briefly and then open it up to the board for any questions. So 40 Avenue B, as Bill mentioned, is a lot located in the R20 SL zoning district. It's just under a 20,000 square foot lot, accessed by Avenue B, which is an unaccepted private right-of-way, variable width. It's a kind of a acute angle coming up to the site, and then a 16.5-foot right-of-way over here. There's an existing single-story small cottage, about 20 by 20 in dimension, so approximately 400 square feet. A little hard to see on the figure up here. But that structure is primarily located within the minimum required 20-foot front yard setback. The front stair is actually just over the lot line, and then the structure is pretty much immediately abutting up against the lot line. In the back of the lot, this blue line, which again, I apologize, is kind of hard to see, that represents an isolated vegetated wetland on the property. Now, I do want to point out an isolated wetland is not something that's jurisdictional under Mass DEP or the state. However, it is under the local conservation commission. So we have brought this project before them and received an order of conditions. I do want to point out, with the presence of that wetland and the location of the existing house, we were very constrained with our ability to really shift that footprint. So what the goal was in siting the new house was to keep the new footprint primarily within the existing. We were able to push it back, as Bill mentioned, 3.6 feet further away from that property line. So we're actually, bettering that nonconformity in that sense. And then everything else within that 20-foot front yard setback, we're not expanding outward any further than the existing footprint, just up a story. So that is where it's considered an expansion. The structure is actually slightly larger than what exists. However, the expanded portion meets the required zoning setbacks. So any horizontal expansion is in line with the 20-10-10 setbacks. Another component Bill touched upon briefly is the existing house is serviced by 2 cesspools, one of which is actually now located in the wetland area. So as part of this raise and rebuild project, we have designed a new septic system, which is located up in the front right corner of the lot here. Now, the goal with that, again, in looking at conservational aspects, was to push the leaching area as far as we possibly could away from the wetland resource area. There was other factors that were involved in us siting it over here. We're up against high groundwater in this area. So, looking at every possible option, that was the best location for the septic system, and that has been approved by the Board of Health. We incorporated some minor, site and grading adjustments to the lot. We have been made aware of a little bit of ponding that occurs on Avenue B. Given that this property is really a low-lying area in the neighborhood, it accepts a lot of stormwater runoff from both Avenue B, surrounding developments. Houses are getting torn down, rebuilt. All that water makes its way down onto this property. So we're proposing some grading to really maintain that stormwater drainage path and get it back to the wetlands. And that will encompass the additional development as well. We did look at containing some stormwater from the structure with the inclusion of dry wells. Unfortunately, with groundwater so high, those aren't going to function in these conditions. So basically, everything is graded to flow back to that isolated vegetated wetland. Just briefly upon that, I did mention we received an order of conditions. I do want to point out that during the conservation process, there was a couple meetings involved. Something we ended up, coming up with and agreeing upon with the commission was to do a little bit of filling of an existing portion of the wetland that's very close to the existing structure, and then replicating that wetland in some available upland areas we have in the rear. Now, we were able to do that at a ratio of 1.5 replication to 1 what is being filled. So essentially obtaining, 1.5 times the storage volume for additional runoff. So we believe, it's an overall betterment to the drainage areas that have, incurred here over the years. I think that pretty much covers anything. More than happy to open it up to any questions. As far as the structure goes, so I think that is referring to the existing traveled way, which is the gravel, it's essentially 40 Avenue B. I do think it's been noted that a portion of that path crosses over that line. It's our opinion that not really having anything to do with this project, as our access is going to be over to the left side of the house in the parking area. So the petitioners will essentially use the existing gravel drive and park on the left side of the house. 39 is down here. So there's a portion of the existing traveled way that crosses over the corner of that boundary, which is used by other abutters for access. It's basically the road for 40 Avenue B.
That's an unaccepted road.
Yes, correct.
So the road goes onto his property.
But I do believe the town plows.
They do.
And you're widening Avenue B?
No.
Because just looking at the engineering report, we request as part of this project, the applicant widen Avenue B towards their property to improve the turning movements around the corner of the road to prevent further roadway encroachment onto 39 Avenue B.
So when we will be accessing the site, we do not need to make that corner. We'll basically be within the right-of-way limits to park here and then exit here. So, we are aware of the matter. It's something our preference would be to not incorporate it into this petition for the expansion of the dwelling. I don't think this was an issue that was caused by the petitioner. It's kind of an existing condition that, likely will have to get addressed, but, it's our opinion that it shouldn't be at the expense of the applicant on this specific project.
So you're making this non-conforming issue more non-conforming.
Not really. When I went and looked at it, Ed, Avenue B goes straight for a long way, and then right at the very end, there's a hard right turn. There's a bunch of vegetation, bushes and stuff from people. I believe that would be like 36 or whatever the number. And when you turn the corner, that's what they're talking about, making that corner.
So I think it's different. I think 39 south of that is what they're talking about.
39 is down in there.
South.
And once you turn onto the road, take the hard right and go down, 39 is right on your right-hand side. And that's what they're talking about. But there's two more houses down in there.
Yeah.
So I don't see how you can put the burden on one person for three people's problem.
I understand. I just want to make sure that we have a problem and we have a petition building another, they're asking to do more stuff on the property. And my concern is making it more non-conforming. We have a pre-existing non-conforming structure that we're demolishing, that we're enlarging, and I think that if they're looking to make it more non-conforming, I think engineering department, I'm going to rely on the engineering department. Is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take the burden off of what I'm going to say and back to the engineering department that says that it should be dealt with. So so right now I'm not sold on this project because I'm not willing to kick the can down the road based on what the engineering department has said.
So I'm not so much concerned about the size because you're staying within the same footprint. You're going up. That doesn't concern me as much as I went up that road and it's pretty tight. I am a little bit concerned about the DPW's comment, and especially when there's going to be construction traffic up there, and I haven't seen anything in there about mitigation and dealing with the neighbors during the construction when you've got traffic coming in and out, because I'm guessing once it's up and it's running, it's going to be the same traffic and the same situation you've got now, but it is tight getting up there, getting up the top of that hill.
We do have some photographs. Did you have those?
They're in the filing.
Okay. From the contractor, which shows the the largest size of the vehicle that'll be on site during construction, and it's very manageable, very reasonable. He's able to back down Avenue B, park right there, and still allow enough traffic flow to get in and out of there during construction. And I think Chris has a photo of that as well.
I think there's a photo in our packet of that.
Yeah, you have it as
Yeah.
well, okay.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about here. And then at the end of the project, Mr. O'Reilly, you know, the structure itself will be 3.5 feet back from where it is now, which will make an improvement on the current, you know, traffic situation, if you want to call it that, which is just really just that turn from Avenue B.
Peter, anything?
Okay,
Preliminary. These are preliminary comments.
yeah. So the Board of Health, they okay the septic system yet?
Correct. We have a permit from them.
And I read on the plan that you do have the parking on that side, and you'll have enough where they could be 6 feet off the road.
Correct. Yep. We did submit a revised plan. I met with Rick Bossy to review his comments mid last week. So I apologize. You probably got him a little late, but we've responded to all his comments and prepared a revised plan.
Right. Okay. One question I had though is, so I went up there, well, actually, I saw the photograph. I assume that you parked the big truck up there, took the photograph with everybody to show us the truck to get in and out.
Yeah, we've had several public hearings for this, so we do understand it is a neighbor's concern that's valid. So, you know, it is something that has been thought about with the project team.
But having said that, I mean, 25 years ago when I did my property, Billington C Road, it's now accepted public road, but it wasn't back then. And of course, they wanted me to widen the road because it wasn't wide enough. Well, you know, you can't get down and just, you know, reposition the road. So I understand where you're coming from. I also understand, you know, because of the wetland out back, it's pushed you right up to the edge. So I do understand all that. The pipe from the septic system to the tank to the septic system runs pretty close to the road. Do you know how far away from the road that is?
So that's a small 1.5-inch force main because it will be a pump system. It's a
Okay.
2-compartment septic tank, 1,500-gallon storage, 500-gallon pump compartment, and that's due to the high groundwater, so we actually had to mound the system that's to the right of the house up slightly. So that'll be pumped via just an 1.5-inch force main, and I want to say it's probably 3 feet off the front property line, but again, just a pipe about that
So,
big.
and then, so again, is what you just described is, so the leaching field's gonna be raised.
Correct. It's mounded about a foot or so above existing grade.
And I see that's 5'2" off of the road.
Correct. So we had several variances that we obtained from the Board of Health
Yep.
for maximum feasible compliance under a repair, since we're not intensifying the use or the bedroom count.
So I guess part of it, my thought would be, so you're gonna have if it's raised, you'll probably, on the front side towards the road, you will have some kind of a small retaining wall.
No, it actually, that side of the house elevationally is actually a little bit higher.
Yeah.
So it really matches up with the existing grade on, I believe it's 42 Avenue B nicely. So that matches up very nice. And then it will dip into the foundation and swale any stormwater directly
Right.
against the foundation.
Well, the only reason I was saying that was I was kind of thinking it might be nice to put some kind of curb in to keep the
Yeah.
road from going into the septic, you know what I'm
So
piping?
I actually did talk to Ms. Paquette about that, and I think, you know, something we threw out there was to do a post and rail or a post and rope fencing right at the property line, just to, you know, because you don't want any vehicles running over that system.
Well, I'm just thinking, you know, because I'll tell you, dirt roads when you plow them
Oh, yeah.
tend to go
Yeah,
down.
absolutely.
So I was just thinking of that, so, no, I think that's just about, and one other comment the fire department made was, about the tightness of the houses. If they considered on putting any type of fire retardant stuff on the outside,
So we definitely did pass those comments off to the project architect, who's, looking into them, he'll be, if we do get all our approvals, taking this to the building permit level. So absolutely will be
because
considered.
I think, and actually, that's a question for Jason, I think they'd be required to because of the distance between those houses, right? He's close.
No, there'd be no requirement for any fire retardant, anything beyond ordinary.
Okay, all right. That's it, I'm all set.
Yes.
So looking at the plan, just looking at what was previously done, what's beyond the existing footprint. We have a screened-in porch, which is 10.5 feet by 6.5. I don't, it says in the engineering report, there's a rear addition. Where's that on the plan?
So I think that was a typo. It's an expansion of that existing footprint. It's a full tear down and rebuild, but holding the existing footprint, fully within the 20-foot front setback, which is where we need the relief, and then expanding back with a portion of the house and the screen porch.
So,
But that all that expanded horizontal area meets all required setbacks, zoning setbacks.
so I'm trying to figure it out. So it sounds like, because I'm reading it, it says roughly the same footprint, but then it says, but in addition, there's in addition to the current footprint, there's a rear addition, there's a screened-in porch, and a patio.
So that's expanded beyond the existing footprint,
All right,
yes.
fine. So beyond the existing footprint, how big is the rear addition?
So it's approximately 10 feet beyond the back of the existing dwelling. And then the screen porch is 10.5 by 15. But
then-
all that additional horizontal area conforms to the 20-foot front yard setback.
All right. And then there's a patio area.
Yep, that's just a 10 by 16 pervious patio, pervious pavers.
Oh, I see that, I do see
At
that.
the request of conservation, didn't want any hardscape, additional impervious area, so that will be pervious. Just a little sitting area.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else? I'm going to open this to public comment if you're satisfied at this point. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to this petition? Yes, please come to the microphone, identify yourself. This is being recorded, so.
Hello, Michael Keene, 14 Cedar Crest Road. So I have a couple comments. I've already sent a letter to the board last Wednesday with 3 specific comments. One was that the Conservation Commission had a condition for there to be a dumpster on the site plan, and I couldn't find that anywhere on the plan, so I was just wondering, is that there and I didn't see it, or has it not been added yet? I'm not sure, Mila, are we allowed to?
No, we
okay.
don't do back and forth. You just ask your
Perfect. All right.
questions and then
So
they'll
then
address them.
my second question was, the wetland property line was moved because of the Conservation Commission. And I was wondering if you had considered, once the the wetland line had moved, if it was possible to move the existing septic tank, or the proposed septic tank in SAS, to the other side and fit it within the Title V setbacks, because it's my belief that it is. And the final question was that adding the second floor increases the volume of the structure in the setback, which is prohibited by bylaw, my apologies, it's 203-9, Section F, Part 1, I believe? Part 2, excuse me. So my question, I guess, and it's Part 3, excuse me. My comment is that it doesn't need to be added to in the setback. they could easily leave it at the height that it currently is now and build a second floor behind the 20-foot setback and not violate that zoning law by increasing the volume. I could read the specific law if you'd like, because I'm getting a look like maybe no one knows what, but you guys are all over this, got it. You guys are all over
We've got
this,
a
got it.
Bible full of laws here.
Yeah, all right. Those are my 3 comments.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Yes, please.
Hi, I'm Robert St. Lawrence, 39 Avenue B. I want to bring to the board's attention that there's an active legal dispute between 39 Avenue B and 40 Avenue B regarding the boundary lines, the right-of-way, and the potential harm and impacts that this potential impacts on my property from this proposed construction. We've filed a counterclaim to the claim brought against us. We're seeking a preliminary injunction to prevent any work that would cause trespass or damage or further trespass and further damage. Given the risk of harm to my property, I respectfully request that any approval be conditioned to ensure that construction does not encroach further, does not encroach at all, or cause damage until the court resolves the dispute and the voting be delayed, and potentially the voting be delayed if we cannot ensure that this is possible. In the construction proposal submitted to the zoning board, a letter from the acting town engineer, Richard Bossy, mentioned 39 Avenue B, as you were just talking about. Specifically mentioning the concerns outlined in the current litigation that we are weighing in on and the courts should decide. Without a clear establishing of the correct right-of-way, there's no way for cars, let alone construction vehicles, to enter and exit the area without putting the property of 39 Avenue B at risk. A recent tree removal project carried out by 40 Avenue B provided a good example of what can go wrong and will go wrong if construction happens in that area without these problems being solved. The execution of this project put lumber, trees, equipment driven across the property of 39 Avenue B, laid across 39 Avenue B, without consent or communication with any of us located at 39 Avenue B. Similarly, this truck that was brought through to depict an ease of access for very large vehicles. It was not communicated at all with the property of 39 Avenue B, so I cannot attest of the validity of the statements being made about how and on what path that vehicle came through. Until the courts rule on what the proper right-of-way is, there's risk to all of the surrounding properties, specifically my own.
Is there anything else?
I'd like to say that this has been a very difficult process for everyone involved. We're solution-oriented. We're trying to solve this as fast as we can. But until we're ensured that further harm will not be done, I think we should seek a continuance and wait and see so that we can be in the clear of all problems. That's all.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Michael Mulligan, Absolute Building Consultants. When I was brought to this project, the first thing that I did was drive down the road. I got Ace Excavation to bring their largest truck down that road. We backed it in, we made the corner, and we went straight down to the house. We did not take that sharp right, nor do we need to take that sharp right that everybody's talking about. I think you were talking about it before, that they're saying encroaches onto that property. There's no need. The thing about the dumpsters is simple. I went out and bought 2 16-foot by 12-foot trailers that I tow, and I always use those on my job sites, especially, I do a lot of tear downs in Plymouth, especially on jobs like this when there isn't much room on the job site. I like to use those because they're easy to maneuver. I can pull them out and put the lumber there, I can put them back. You know, it's hard to have a dumpster on site at 30-yarder, it just takes up all the room. We're not gonna bring in dumpsters to tear down the house either. When we tear down the house, we're gonna use those big trucks that I told you that we drove in the beginning. So he's gonna be loading up his truck and he's gonna be bringing that. When we bring in the sheet rock, we're not bringing in the big blue board truck with the boom, we're bringing it in the trailers and the trucks. So before I priced and thought about this job, I went through this a lot to make sure that I could get everything in there without causing a problem to anybody else and having a hold up on the job. Okay. Questions?
Anything else?
That's it, thank you.
Is there anyone else? Yes, Mr. Sims.
Just briefly, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to address the comments by Mr. St. Lawrence about the litigation, which has really nothing to do with the application before you. This petition is for a special permit under 2039. What he's talking about is some litigation involving a fence that he's attempting to build across the roadway, which would inhibit and make things far more difficult. That's what he's referring to. It has nothing to do with the special permit petition, which is the only matter before you tonight. The litigation is tangential, not associated, and will resolve itself in whatever way it does. Before you is the application, the petition, and the supporting documentation, and I just want the board to focus on that and not be distracted by some extraneous litigation which does not involve this particular board and this particular petition. So, thank you.
Yes.
Does the litigation relate to boundaries?
So Mr. Lawrence, actually, it's not even him. He doesn't even own the property. It's in a trust, which I believe his mother is the sole
Fine,
surviving
you know,
trustee.
it's between the 39 and 40. That's questions about boundary.
Yeah, I think it's been surveyed multiple times, and he's trying to extend a fence into the roadway, and that's what he's fighting about. So either way, it's not going to affect our ability to construct this property safely and within the bounds of the law and the zoning bylaws in Plymouth. So whichever way that ends up, you know, it might make life more difficult for himself, other neighbors, but
If he's building a fence onto the roadway, why is number 40 a party to this litigation?
well, because it's every property along there, 39, 40, 42, I think, abuts Avenue B that swings through there. So, you know, we're directly across from the St. Lawrence property, so I think that's probably the best answer to your question.
You didn't really answer it, Bill, but we'll move on, though.
Well, I can't give you like a detailed answer as to the
I want to know what's
effect.
going on. Like, we're asking to deal with boundaries here. We have a plan here.
I don't think-
And I want to know if this is in dispute, and why should we be dealing with this if we have a plan that's...
The boundaries as to the St. Lawrence property and the Paquette property are well determined by Merrill engineers staking out the property and identifying exactly where the line is. And that has been done, and the construction that is proposed will not be affected by, you know, where that line has been staked out. And Chris, if you want to address that any further, I'm sure you can probably identify exactly where that...
Well, no, I think I'm more interested in you, Bill.
Okay.
So,
Happy to accommodate as best I can.
so the issue here is we have 39 and 40, and it sounds like this litigation, he wants to build a fence into the middle of the road, is what you're indicating.
That is what the claim is.
All right, so we're trying to build a fence in the middle of the road. So I don't understand why 40 wouldn't just get their lawyer and do a summary judgment and say this is not valid by what you're advocating here. And
So-
it doesn't sound like that's in the cards.
It's brand-new litigation, Mr. Conroy. It is brand new. It just
Are
started.
you,
We have-
are you
we have court-
representing one of the parties in the litigation?
My firm is, yes. Ms. Paquette, yes.
All right.
We are.
All right. So, Bill, Are you being forthright with me? You don't know what's going on here?
I'm telling you everything I know right now. There is a...
So your
there is-
firm's involved in litigation, and you don't really know.
So the litigation started by the plaintiffs pro se, both sides. And then we got involved recently within the last 14 days or so, 21 max. And we have a hearing this Thursday on a preliminary injunction request to stop the fence building, and that's as far as it goes right now.
So you're
There's
not
been a
gonna bring a
complaint
summary-
filed by the St. Lawrence side.
So don't you want to bring a summary judgment?
I don't want to comment on our strategy
All right,
publicly, if
All right,
that's
so I'm not
okay.
happy with this case. You're all set, Bill.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Michael.
So I guess maybe for you, Bill. This fence we're talking, it's the 39 that's wanting to square off where people are cutting across their property? Is that what I'm hearing?
Essentially, I think that's what the claim is, but again, where we've identified the access way, we disagree with their position on where it is, so.
But what I'm trying to point out is the fence hasn't got anything to do with this project.
No, it
The
doesn't.
fence is on the other side of the road.
That's correct.
Right,
Has
on the
nothing to do with
corner
this.
that he's trying to
Exactly.
take back property that, well, or whatever.
You are
Okay,
correct.
yeah.
All set, Bill?
Dismissed. More questions?
Not for me.
Thank you.
Actually, I do have one for Merrill, though. And kind of another point I want to make, you're 5 foot something off the road. What was the old, the house should be taken down? I don't see an existing one, but how far was that off the road?
So the front stoop abuts the front property line. It's right on it.
Okay,
So that is now being pushed back. There's going to be another covered front porch. That'll now be 3.6 feet. So we were almost able to move it 4 feet back. We would have loved to move it further back. The Paquettes would have loved to move it
Right.
further back, but we were battling with conservation. They wanted it the opposite direction. So that was the
Yeah.
common ground we found.
and I can see, but my point is, so you're not encroaching on the road anymore, you're encroaching actually less.
Yeah, we're
Like 10
pushing
feet.
almost 4 feet away from the road.
Right, so
And-
that's my point.
Yep.
So in other words, again, what's going on across the street, and you're actually moving it back, is a better condition, not worse.
Correct.
Yeah.
But just from that property line, 3.5 feet further.
So while I've got you up there, I'm looking at the plan, and the plan shows where, in the gray, the traveled gravel road, which actually, I'm assuming that's 39
Correct.
property there. But what you're saying is you're going to be able to push yourself closer to
Yep.
40 for
So-
that access?
So this is the 39 property
Right.
corner and the existing traveled way. So our access, our stabilized construction entrance, the vehicular parking, when the project's all said and done, goes right down, the right-of-way here onto the property. So none of the construction activities will take that maneuver, none of the vehicles will take that maneuver, once the project's complete. So we're really doing absolutely nothing in the area of that discussion.
So you're not taking that right turn in?
No.
Okay.
So if you're not taking the right turn, you're driving down to the end, and then you're turning left into that little area and backing down to 40?
Correct. The construction, so there's another turn down here. The construction vehicles will back up onto the property this way. Mm-hmm. And then
But they're
this
going to
will,
drive forward all the way down to the end. They're not going to back all the way down?
I don't believe so.
No, they're
No.
going to drive forward, and then when they get to the end, they can't take the right, they're going to kind of move to the left and back around and back down in there.
Correct.
Who owns the property on the left-hand side? Excuse me.
So you're talking about further down this direction. Mike, are you able to elaborate on how you get the vehicles to maneuver backwards, backing up into there?
We started out by Whitehorse. We backed all the way down Avenue B. We made the corner backing in, and we backed the truck right up beside the house. And then we drove out the whole way. And that just made more sense, because there wasn't the room to go down that way. Now, that traveled way that they're talking about where the fence is gonna go is the one down in front, which we don't need to go there, and that's why we did it. So the two driveways that they had them put in on the left-hand side is where we're gonna be doing all the work. We can pull right up with the excavator, that's gonna drive in from Whitehorse Road there, that's gonna drive right down Avenue B, and all my vehicles will pull in. I could pull in with my trailers and take them off and turn them with a skid steer on the property. I don't have to back those in, but the big machines and the trucks will be backing in the whole way.
So every type of delivery that goes there is backing the whole length of Avenue B.
Like I said, a lot of the stuff, the lumber and stuff, the trusses for the stuff are coming in on my trailers or on a flatbed, and they'll be backed in if they had to. Or what we've done in the past a lot of times is we use the skid steer because it's a small machine, and we hook onto the pintle on the front of the trailer, and then we can pull it around and we can make the turns easy because we don't have the big truck pulling that thing down there.
Pete, anything? Michael? No. Okay. At this point, we've had public, I'm going to open it to the public. Go ahead. We've done it.
So, I mean, I guess it's still board discussion right now until we figure out where this is going.
You're all set.
Myself, I don't think it needs to be delayed. Again, that road, I'm just going by what I went through in my past, when I was, at my place, 20-something years ago. That, I know it, huh? That road, the road they're talking about in the property that he wants to square out is not only litigation between their parties, let's say, but the whole neighborhood. And I don't know that that's going to even be resolved in his favor because, this part of some other people that use my property, that was an issue there too. So I think the case stands on its own. It's on the other side of the road. He's farther off the road, so he's doing less of an encroachment on the road. I mean, it's either you close the construction down for good or approve the permit, in my opinion.
Okay. Yes, please.
Attorney Sims, do you know, I know you haven't been involved with this very long, but do you know have you seen where the fence would be?
Yes,
You have.
I have. I've been to the site. Yes.
If the fence were there tomorrow, could that gentleman up back still do his work?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's.
You're saying,
Yeah. You can, it's marked about 3 feet.
I mean, I understand the
Into the-
issue, and if that was, if they were going over my
Thank you for asking
property,
that.
I wouldn't like it either. But if we're convinced that, if I'm convinced that the fence were in place, that it wouldn't really impede the project.
No, Mr. Mulligan, myself, Mr. Sanderson have all been to the site. I've seen the spray paint markings in the roadway as to where he intends to expand his fence, and I don't think it's going to impede anything. The work's going to get done, and if he wants to move his fence there, then, that's part of another case not involving this particular
Okay.
board. So it's going to happen without interference with him or anything else, even if that fence gets built before we start.
Thank you, Mr. Sims.
Any other questions? Okay, yes, please.
I'm gonna motion, we approve case number.
Wait a minute. Let's do some conditions.
Well, there's 3 conditions.
Well, there's going to be more. Yes, and I,
It's a separate file.
come on. Hate this damn thing. What page is the planning board?
Oh, it's a separate document.
Oh, yeah, that's right, too.
Buster, Ed's got it.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. So, has everybody looked at the conditions? I want to add a condition, if this is to pass, that no construction whatsoever starts before 7 o'clock in the morning. No warm-up of machines prior to 7, nothing before 7 o'clock in the morning, and that, I want that condition on this permit. What's that?
Buster, I have a question for you. So the engineering department has a couple other conditions. What do you think about the applicant must show a driveway and vehicular parking area on the plans within the subject property?
Is that fine?
Also, number 4 on the engineering plan says the town of Plymouth snow plows the section of Avenue B. We request that as a condition of approval, no obstruction or parking areas be allowed within 6 feet of the edge of the gravel way to allow snow storage space. So my concern with that is the engineer had spoken about putting a wooden, some type of wooden thing so they wouldn't get plowed over. Mr. Leary, you spoke about something that, so it didn't sink?
For
They're speaking
erosion.
about 2 different, they're talking about, because he is already back 5-something feet. What they're talking about as well, during the construction, they didn't, what your concern was, that during the construction, they don't park anything within 6 feet of the road is what they want.
All right, fine. So that should be in there, I would think also. And so the board isn't comfortable going along with the third recommendation by the engineering board, that says, we request as part of the project, the applicant widen Avenue B towards the property and to improve the turning movements. We are not going along with that?
No, my opinion, first of all, it's on the other side of the road, there's more, it's the neighbors coming out, that, when I went up there, was a road on the right-hand side, they're the ones that are coming around the corner. Yeah, but he's already back 5 feet, so if they come to an agreement due to that lawsuit, he's got plenty of room to move a little bit.
There's not going to be an agreement in the lawsuit for 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, whatever.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's going to be no agreement.
yeah. So, I mean, I think, adding the 2 conditions you spoke about is fine. I'd agree, I'd want to do that.
I'm okay with that.
And can I ask Jason something?
Yes, please.
So what are your thoughts on not addressing the 39, the widening of the road at this point? I mean, we're making this lot. We're not only are we going beyond the footprint, we're adding a patio, 3 different things, and we're definitely encroaching more. We're making this
Well,
non-conforming more.
I think the petition itself is a request of, demolish or raise a pre-existing non-conforming single-family, and they have absolutely a right under the law to rebuild. It's clear. And that the determination is this application is substantially more detrimental than the existing. And I think the additions off the back are conforming and therefore cannot be included in that intensity-related thing, in that intensity-related issue. It certainly can be taken into the whole picture of it, but that in relationship to the nonconformity, doesn't add to that
No,
nonconformity.
I'm saying with, how does it, do you think that based on the non-conforming, what does that, is the widening of Avenue B, is that even on the table? I mean, why was the engineering department saying, we request as part of this be done?
I disagree distinctly with the engineering department's view that this applicant has some or any bearing on where Avenue B has, is or lies, in that it's completely separate issue, civil matter between not just 39 and 40, but all direct abutters to Avenue B. Because if you look at Avenue
So
B
this
as
is
it...
the first, Jason. You're going against the engineering. This is exciting.
If you look at Avenue B from where it starts out on Taylor Ave, it goes and travels over many parcels and front lawns and front areas. It makes very unrealistic jogs and turns that would require somebody potentially to navigate corners without ease and drive over corners or edges of lawns. So I think it's an issue for abutters, but it's not specific to this petition. So that's my opinion.
All right, thank you.
Michael?
Yes, sir.
I was just thinking, in the 20-odd years, how many times we've had issues down in that area with where the lot lines are, and where the driveways are.
Gee, this is the very first time.
And that stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this town, there are over 200 miles of unapproved dirt roads, and they run across all kinds of things. And this is a headache that the engineering department runs into every single day, that planning runs into, that we run into. It's just part of what we have to do. So we try and make the adjustments the best we can, and that's what we're doing this evening. Ed, this is yours. I brought that up. Thank you.
So is I motion to approve case number 4181 with the now 5 conditions.
Right, and you got those, Denise?
So the fifth condition is number 4 on the engineering comments?
Number 2 on engineering.
Number 2?
Number 2 that deals with the applicant shall driveway and the other parking area on the subject property. And then, Michael, in relation to number 4, town from the snow plans with section B, we requested a condition of approval of no obstruction of parking be allowed within the 6 feet of the edge of the gravel way to allow for.
It's on the conditions already.
Fine.
So,
We're only adding one.
so where are we now in the conditions? I made it one additional, so with the 4 conditions.
And the one additional is the not starting time.
Oh, okay, so if you want to do that, so we're back to 5. So the starting time, and you have to draw the parking area on the plan.
Plan.
That's it. Yeah, that's fine. So
All set?
is there a second?
I don't know. Good.
Sure, second.
So, Michael, you're making the motion,
Yeah.
and who is second? Kevin. Okay, we have a motion with 5 conditions to approve case 4181. All those in favor? Opposed? It is a 4-to-1 vote. Go right ahead. So the vote is... All righty. It was either one, but... Yeah, that'll do it. There is no... No, that, we're going forward with that. So,
Yeah. That's a mess down there, though. If you look through GIS lines up there.
yeah, I'm trying to find the damn thing.
That's right.
And there it is. No, it's This BMW. Okay. Denise, we're gonna do the first case. Next, we are going to revisit a case number, it started out as 3182, and it is now 4176, BMW Motorrad at 500 Old Colony Place.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Attorney Mike Ford, together with a representative from Atlantic, Ben, and Ben King, I should say, and my client, Mr. Laham, who's the owner of the property. So this is a bit of a hybrid, as we discussed last time. We're really not here in a public hearing forum, and what you're asked to do is make a determination as to whether what we're proposing is consistent with a special permit, applying a couple of conditions from the original special permit, 3182. The use has its genesis in special permit 3724, which authorized 3 dealerships in place of retail under that master special permit. So we were given very specific instructions the last time we were here. The board had a number of concerns. The first was the parking spaces. And what we've done, as you can see if you've had a chance to look at the plan, is to make all parking spaces 10 by 18. So they're all the size of customer spaces now. And that was important to a number of the members of the board. They made it very clear to me when I was up here last time. Secondly, the board observed that there was no place for snow storage marked on the plan. So that's been done. Third, the plan was not stamped by a registered land surveyor. And so that's been done. And fourth, Mr. Conroy had some questions and a bit of a problem because the engineering, DPW report, had left a number of things where the issue was outstanding. And the board was struggling with the question, well, who ultimately determines those? Is it thrown to the building commissioner, or is it, how does that get resolved? And his comment to me was, we usually resolve those at this hearing, and it's usually done by satisfying the engineering report. So Atlantic submitted another, Atlantic had submitted before the last hearing a response to the engineering comments, and engineering hadn't had an opportunity to respond. When they did, Atlantic issued another memo, and that's resulted in now a DPW updated engineering memo, which you have, I believe. It's 6 pages, and it is dated, Mr. Chairman, well, it actually has a date of July 23rd, but I think it's last updated September. Some of the comments are updated. 12. Thank you. Thank you. I missed that. So, and I think you'll find, as you go through it, there are no longer any outstanding issues with the engineering comments which have been submitted to you through the Department of Public Works. In addition, we took, I think, what was maybe not your direct advice, but seemed to be a feeling of the board members. We scheduled a meeting with the building commissioner and went through all of the projects and plans with the building commissioner. And at the building commissioner's suggestion, had a second meeting with Mr. Silva and the members of his staff that would be looking at all of the building permit issues. Our thank you to him for being involved in that and helping us set that up, first. And secondly, We think it was very instructive and will help with a smooth review and ultimately issuance of the building permit. So those were my notes of the things that we were told to look at the last time. We have that site plan, and we can make a more detailed presentation of it. But I think it's just important to focus on those areas where the board said, you've got some problems in our mind, you've got to deal with these issues. I think we have dealt with the issues that at least I kept track of from the last hearing.
Thank you. Question? Michael?
I'm all set.
Ed? Yes, please.
Attorney Ford, you did a good job.
Well, thank you, Mr. Conroy.
Jason, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, I think the statement was accurate. We met with some representatives. We feel comfortable, and that included all disciplines, town engineers, everyone involved. So we're hopeful that we're going to fast track them and get them up and going quickly. And I think we've done a lot of work out in advance of this one, so I think we're good.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. If this is for board discussion, any input?
Looks good to me. I think the question the last time, as I recall it, was not so much that we had so much issue with engineering stuff, but we didn't have a report from them as to how they reviewed it.
Comments were unsatisfied.
Yeah.
Right.
So from my standpoint, the fact that he went and did, or someone went and did their homework and got the,
Okay.
I'm perfect with the comments.
Okay. Very good.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion to approve the modification to case number 3182 with the 3 conditions listed.
And I'll second it.
Excuse me, those conditions are, Mr. Chairman, just so I can make note of them?
It's one that you have to satisfy, let's see,
Where's
the, a lien certificate to make sure there's nothing
Yes.
owed. Let's see, you have to satisfy the fire department and building commissioners, which is just standard, and also the water balance program application.
Yep.
Those 3.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I have a motion to approve case number 4176/3182 with 3 conditions, and a second by Peter. All those in favor? It is unanimous.
Thank you very much,
You're welcome.
and we appreciate the building commissioner's efforts working with us.
Okay, we have, we're going to take a 5-minute recess here.
We don't, what we have is just the minutes, right?
No, we've got the general store,
Oh, yeah, there we go.
and that one might take a few minutes, so.
Okay, I better bring it back up.
So, Thank you for waiting. We're back underway. Our next case is case number 4180, ZS Trust LLC, 9 Samoset Ave, 772 State Road. I will ask the clerk to read the ad.
Case number 4180, the Plymouth Zoning Board of Appeals on the zoning bylaw will hold a public hearing in the Great Hall, Town Hall, 26 Court Street, Plymouth, Mass. On Monday, September 15th, 2025 at 6 p.m. to hear the petition of Zohab, I hope I get that right, Shahid, requesting a special permit required per section 2039C to expand or alter a pre-existing non-conforming use and structure, and per section 2055 R20SL use table A2 to convert the use of a detached building to a two-family dwelling, and if required per section 2037F2 to waive the required off-street parking area width on the property of 9 Samoset Ave, shown as parcel 048-049-242A-000, 048-049-242A-000 of the assessor's map dated January 1, 2024 in an R20 SL zone. The petitioner or his or her representative or any other person interested in desiring to be heard on this request should appear at the time and place designated.
Thank you. Seated on this will be Mr. Leary, Mr. O'Reilly, Mr. Conroy, Mr. Connor, and myself. Who will be representing?
Good evening. I'm here for the special permit.
Your name, please.
Oh, sorry. My name is Zohaib Shahid.
Thank you.
So I'm here for the special permit and for the one exceeded bedroom apartment. So existing building that the one bedroom.
Okay. So tell us about your project, tell us what you're doing, you know.
It's been there. So like when we bought the property, so we have to just done that like some sheetrock or the electric stuff. Is interior stuff and the floor.
This one already has two bedroom.
Can you identify yourself, please?
So my name is Mutsum Chaudhary. I'm his uncle. I'm just here to support him. So that building, existing building has one two bedroom apartment upstairs. So downstairs we work on it. So we want to make a one bedroom apartment. So that's why we're here. Last week we were with the zoning board meeting. They recommend as few they get recommendation. So we work on 100% on those whatever they recommend to us. So we work on them, and so that's why we're here to see if we can draw the permit and start the project.
Okay. Preliminary questions from the board? Are there any?
So this basically, in a way, is a post facto.
That was going to be my question, yes.
Right, because it was, I don't know who caught it. Maybe it was the health department when they were there, but this was without a permit on the inside.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to find the planning board report.
Oh, it's a separate
Separate.
Oh, that's
Him in the email.
I keep doing that.
There's 4 conditions in there too.
Here, I can call it up for you.
Case is this
4181.
80.
Curiosity, Jason, has they done a inspection of the framing down there, or
Not to my knowledge, no,
not yet?
no.
So this, Jason, this is a post facto.
I think it's a little muddy in the history. I tried to figure that out today. It appears as though that there was an apartment there from quite a while ago. I'm not sure, there's some issues with the septic system from years ago, whether the septic was there or not there. But I believe when I read the planning board report, they indicated that the building with the first apartment had been permitted. And so, so I took that as a basis, going forward. I do think that there was clearly some intention to build things, move forward, and I believe that at the time that the inhibition between continuing was that the septic system did not work, so that the applicant couldn't come in and file for a second apartment until they resolved the septic system issues. I believe they have a new design, and now it's strictly a use issue with the second apartment that they want to build, so.
It's already in.
The new system is in? New septic system?
Yes.
Is all done?
Yeah, it's all done.
It's 4.77, so.
And we don't have that one.
I printed out the document. You want to see it, Buster?
Yes.
There you go.
Some odd conditions.
I wish we got this all in.
Yeah, so do I.
This is really difficult.
It's all Denise's fault.
Really?
It is?
All right, board
one-
members, we're at a,
Well, the one thing I noticed too is on the DPW report, I believe, yeah, from engineering, on number 5, the comment, and which would maybe further Jason's comment, is they're recommended that they provide a plan for the land so that it can be recorded in deeds, because I guess the old one is, nothing makes sense, the way they say this. It's comment number 5. And of course, that would incorporate number 2, too, if they did that, would be the, showing the entire septic system on the new plan.
that's the engineering report.
Right. That's not the, oh,
Where the hell is the engineering report?
page number 87 on the regular, on the
Thank you,
the
Peter.
packet agenda.
Mike, thank
Page,
you. 87.
87.
A lot of stuff here that we don't need, that's for sure.
There you go.
Yeah, it's straightened out some of the pages.
I'm really having an issue here. Oh, come on,
Use
damn
your
it.
finger. Just use your finger, move. There you go.
You're in the wrong document, Lester. Here, just look at mine.
You need my, I can blow mine up.
I'm gonna shut this computer off, right now. There. Damn thing. Show the entire existing septic system.
Number 5 is the one where,
Yeah.
On
And I
engineering?
found it on here earlier today
on
because I read
engineering?
this.
on page 85.
Plan of land, okay.
Apparently, it's not too clear, so I don't know whether we want to add that later on.
Yes, we do.
Deed dimensions, occupation.
Okay, go ahead. All right, Michael, go ahead.
I have it printed out on this giant paper.
I don't even need my glasses for this one.
That was me.
That's going above and beyond right there.
It certainly is.
I'm still in the doghouse.
Well, looking at some of the history, when we got the case here, I mean, most of this was done, what, in the 40s? And it is kind of cloudy areas of how it got moved down the road. I don't have a problem with what's going on now because they are clearing up the septic system. I think we should keep the 4 conditions that were listed by staff. And I think we might want to add a possible condition myself for DPW comments on number 2 and 5, which would be 5 is recording the new, a plan on, because I guess apparently when the town looked it up and they listed the book and page number, there was a lot of things that weren't clear.
So that was number 2 and number
5, number 2 is they didn't have, the septic system should be shown better on the plan, and number 5 was a plan that they recorded the deed that cleans everything up.
How about number 6? That's more scary,
The straight parking.
about this parking, and you have to park over the, directly into the abutting roadways.
Okay, so we could add a condition that, that they satisfy conditions on before a buildings permit. What would you rather have it, Jason, before the buildings permit issued or before the occupancy?
Any of those types of conditions would be before the building permit,
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
yeah, I mean, it looks like the parking spaces are an issue.
So, well, I went down there, I mean, it really isn't except for the one for the store, but that doesn't really, and it does and doesn't pertain to this. But I agree with you, I think, so if we were to do it, we could put a condition on there that they satisfy number 5 and number 6.
Number 2,
From-
number 5, and number 6.
6, from the, engineering report.
Well,
Does that look right for you, Peter?
I don't know. I think, with that number 6, I think we ought to see that in front of us. How they're gonna figure that out.
Well, when I went down there, the apartments are parking out back towards where the septic system is. They're parked over there. The only ones I can see being an issue, but they're grandfathered in, is the ones for the grocery store. Those you pull right off into the street. There's a parking lot on the side, but that's it. You're backing into the street, but there's no way around that.
Yeah, but just, it says they don't have enough spaces for the commercial, a 1-bedroom and a 2-bedroom. I don't know.
Yeah, that's, wow.
That was pretty messy.
Yeah, how do we clean that up?
There's a number of issues in 6, like ADA compliant.
Yeah, I don't see how we can do that.
No,
Parking spaces 1 through 9 do not provide the required setback to a right-of-way.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do about that?
Jason, that's, so when I went out to this and looked at it, the parking spaces they're talking about are the ones that are out by the grocery store on the front. Where they've been there for that number of years,
So,
That's grandfathered, right?
well, here, I don't mean to put too much of a monkey wrench in the works, but I'm looking at a plan now, a satellite plan now that shows the state road easement that lies through that, generally through that area, and it shows the roadway kind of on the, what would be the westerly side entirely of the easement. And so there's a very large portion of the road easement that lies in front of this property that is unimproved, that from the roadway standpoint, but is effectively the parking lot in front of this building. So the depiction that I'm looking at now shows all of the front parking spaces that are depicted on the engineer's site plan that's up there as being in the road.
Oh, for the new plant.
So I think Rick, our town engineer, was intuitive about that. There may be some conflict between the survey plan, the deeds, and that may be some work to be done on this plan. I don't know. We'll provide more clarity, because right now, this plan that's done by the surveyor shows the property boundary line going all the way up to the sidewalk area. But when I look at the plan on the satellite imagery, that road easement extends not just on this property, but through, continuing up and down State Road. So something is not accurate here.
Yeah, I think that's what they were referring to in that new plan.
Yeah, so I guess what I'm indicating is that the parking allocations that are represented on the plan on the screen, I didn't notice this before, but I think maybe Rick did, that there's some contradiction between the lot layout and what they're indicating, and there should be some clarity before the board makes judgment on the plan.
I agree.
Okay.
Because if the parking's indicated on the plan happens to be laid out in the road layout, then that is inappropriate.
So maybe we should have them come back with an
With a new
engineered
plan.
engineered
Yes.
plan
I
that
think so.
that straightens out all
So
these issues.
herein lies the problem. I think that, this is a stamped land surveyed plan. Our town engineer has indicated some conflict, but I don't understand what he's indicated in the revisions, in the information he indicated. But it's clear from the information that I can see that there's some conflict that needs to be, I guess, addressed, and I think the town engineer raised that issue. How that could be addressed, their engineer is saying it's not an issue. He's put his name and stamp on the plan. But I'm a lay individual looking at this information, and something's not right.
Is that Mark? Mark's the engineer? Mark Flaherty?
This is Edward Stone, McDougal Surveying.
Oh, okay.
Mashpee.
Well, maybe they need to come in and sit down and talk.
I would suggest that if this land surveyor wants to come in and explain that contradiction to the board, then that would be fine. But I'm just pointing that out, and I'd hate for that issue to surface 10 years from now, or when the state goes through to do some road work or whatever might be. I hope that the survey on the board is correct, is my point.
So,
If
rather
it's
than
not, then
come,
there's a lot different, there's a lot that's different.
rather than come for the board, shouldn't he
Go to you.
go to engineering first and, or have they been there to discuss this?
Yeah, I do think it, again, a continuance with this engineer accounting for this contradiction that we can see in the survey, with the, satellite imagery is not, we don't use that for like
Right.
definitive, but when it's off 20 feet, something in a lot line, and again, the road easement, the state road easement is rather parallel lines that go down, and it looks like, it could be a 60, 80-foot easement there that runs through, road easement, that they never constructed on, right? They just had it, and it just happens to be all the way to one side instead of in the middle of the easement.
I would open this to public comment, but I don't think there's going to be any.
No.
So I will close public comment and bring it back to board discussion only. What do you guys want to do?
Well, my suggestion would be that they get a hold of their engineer, and he talk to the town of Plymouth engineer, and come up with the solution or the explanation that Jason raised,
Satisfies, right.
and address this. He needs to address, I feel he needs to address number 6 of all these parking spaces. Because he noticed it, but Jason noticed it, but if, I mean, I know it's been there forever, but if they're on the town, the state right away, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
So I would say that we continue it until we get some results on that stuff.
Number 6 of the report.
Well, they might as well satisfy condition number
Yes.
2,
Well,
5,
yeah,
and
I was
6.
just thinking about the one that caught my
Yeah.
eye. That's
You're
Yeah,
wrong.
but let me make notes to myself. Number 2, number 5, number 6. Okay.
19.
So what's going to happen now is, these plans are very, very, they're not really concise, and we need to have that. And we need to have your engineer come and talk to Mr. Silva and the DPW and iron out these parking problems, because as it sits right now, we can't approve this with the way that the parking is drawn right at the particular time and for what you want to do. I don't know if you're going to have enough parking places or not. I hope you do. But we need the engineer's report and a set of plans that show exactly where the boundaries are, where the parking places are, what size they are, egress. All of those things have to be dealt with. So I am going to ask the board to continue this case and give you an opportunity to go ahead and get all of this information and get back with the town, and then we will set a date for when you can come back before the board and resolve this.
All right.
Okay? And I don't think we need to set a date certain right now until they have their engineering stuff all pretty much together and everything. There's no sense in putting them under an undue or an impossible schedule. So let them do their, so I would ask the board for a motion.
Okay. I would motion,
You again?
you want to do it, you can. I would, that we continue, I motion that we continue case number 4180, is that it?
4180.
To another date.
To a date uncertain.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
I have a motion to continue case number 4180 by Michael and a second by Peter, so that they can get together with their engineer and resolve some of the questions that came up tonight. All those in favor? It is unanimous.
And then just check, you have that report, you see what we're talking about, number 2, 4, and 6?
Yes, yes, I have it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, it was 2, 5, and 6, right?
Is it 2, 5, 6 or 2, 4? 2, 4, 6?
Yeah.
No, to 5 and 6.
256, yeah. All right.
Of the DPW's report. Okay.
Also, though, the conditions.
Yes.
Also, right?
Yeah.
So the staff report conditions plus the 3 engineer conditions.
So those 3 conditions plus those, the recommendation we got from the zoning board has to be done before we appears here?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
The planning board condition. Is there
Ed,
some
I wrote
revisions?
on your copy of, thank you.
Is there some conditions on striping and
We also
dumpsters
done-
and things like that?
Yeah.
Planning board purposes, yeah.
Okay, so we
If
voted.
we vote,
and-
fine.
You're all set.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We did vote.
Oh, we did, okay.
Pay attention. Yes, he did.
Okay.
Pay attention.
I
There's
didn't-
going to be a quiz.
I didn't know it.
Okay, gentlemen. We have the minutes to take care of. I don't have a computer on, so I can't. They look good to me, except for, I think they spelled Peter's name wrong.
No, it was worse than that. He left me out,
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
and I was here.
Do you know
I have reviewed the minutes, other
that
than that.
he has the longest seniority on this board, almost 30 years?
Remember that.
I,
Yeah, we're good, we're okay with the minutes, right?
yeah,
She's gonna correct that.
yes, the minutes are fine. They're always good. With the exception of Peter.
We're going to take a vote to approve.
Go right ahead.
I
Gentlemen,
motion we
Are
approve
you
the,
happy with the
Yes.
minutes?
Yes.
All those in favor of approving the minutes? There you go.
So Buster,
Yes, sir?
I sent out the planning board and the agenda.
I tried doing that, but then it wanted to print 130 pages, and I said, and I tried isolating it, and
Mr. Chairman,
yes, sir?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I would second that.
All in favor?
All right.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That concludes our business for the evening.